today's video is my first video, and it's going to be a frontal customization tutorial. So I'm just going to be showing you how to make your frontal look more natural by plucking and bleaching. Okay, so let's get right into it. So here's my frontal. It's a 20-inch frontal and it's burgundy. So we want to bleach these knots, and we're going to start by placing our frontal onto the mannequin head using our T-pins so that it can be sturdy. Then what you're going to want to do is grab your Got To Be Glue spray, and this is like a really good spritz. So you see these flyaways, you use this to hold them down and get them out of your way while you're trying to work. Okay, so for the bleaching process, you need to get some gloves. I wear gloves so that I don't mess up my fingernails. Okay. You need BW2 powder, you need some developer, and today I'm going to be wearing this face mask because the smell of the chemicals are very, very strong. For this next part, we're going to be mixing the BW2 powder and the 30 or 40 developer to get this thick consistency of like toothpaste, I want to say. So what you're going to do is take 2 scoops of the powder and I'm using 30 developer, so I'm going to take some of that and pour it in there. There's not really measurements, but you just want to eyeball it. By the way, y'all, this bleaching shit smells so bad, so crack a window before you do all of this stuff. So this is the consistency that you want. It's about as thick as toothpaste so that it doesn't seep into the lace. Alright, the thickness of this mixture will determine how well your bleaching process comes out at the end. If it's too thin, then you would get the bleach through the lace and it'll mess up the roots of your hair and they'll be blonde, or in my case pink. So you want to make sure that it's super thick like this. Right here you just see me spreading the mixture all throughout the lace. Make sure you lay it on there like butter. You almost want to like lay it on top and not really like push it through the lace, because then that'll get it through the hair too, and that's not what you want to do. This is a PSA and a pro tip, y'all. While you're doing this, take your time. Take your time. I don't know why I was rushing, but when you're rushing, you make mistakes. So I wasted a little bit on the hair, but it won't show, so I'll be okay. But you still don't want to waste any of it. I'm just looking at myself working like, wow, sis, you making a mess. Alright, y'all, so the lace is completely slathered in this bleaching stuff. You want to leave it on there for 45 minutes. So boom, 45 minutes later, your knots on your frontal are going to be nice and bleached, and it's going to look nice when it's up against your skin. You have to make sure you use warm, coldish water. You want to rinse all of the bleach. The shampoo that I'm using is a sample shampoo I got for free at the beauty supply store, and you want to make sure you wash the lace because that will stop the bleach from still bleaching. Okay, so after scrubbing the lace clean with our free shampoo, you want to make sure you rinse all of the bleach and all of the shampoo off of your frontal. We are back at the manicure with our wet frontal. We're going to use the same T-pins and pin that bad boy down so that it can be sturdy because we're about to start plucking. And yeah, this is what the frontal give after bleaching the knots. It just looks so much more natural, and I haven't even plucked anything yet. Now you will need to get some kind of clips for your hair. You can pin it back so the hair's not in the way as you're trying to pluck, and you don't end up plucking the wrong spot or plucking a bald spot into your frontal. If you already have bald spots, you don't want to pluck onto your frontal. So another pro tip is you always want to pluck on wet hair because it makes it easier to pluck the hair when it's wet. In this clip, you can see I'm separating the line of demarcation where the baby hairs were created on the frontal. Not by me, but by the, vendors or whatever. And this is where you will pluck behind this line, and they already separated the baby hairs for you, which most frontals are like that. So you just want to go around the whole hairline and separate that so you know where to and where not to pluck. And this is where you will use the clips to clip them out of the way. Here I'm just wetting the hair on the other side with water and repeating the same steps by removing the baby hairs and pinning them out of the way. Okay, and now we pluck. So this is probably the most important part of the video so that your frontal can look as natural as possible. Please note that I am not plucking in the same exact spot. I am moving barely a centimeter down. This matters so that you don't have bald spots in your weaves. Also, this part in the customizing process takes the longest other than waiting for your bleach to process.
That's just on the beat.
After a generous amount of plucking, you will see hair shedding, but that's only the hair that you plucked out. So make sure that after plucking for a while, you brush or comb through so that you'll be able to see how you've been progressing after plucking for 1,000,000 hours. Now what you do is you take your mousse of choice. This is not the mousse that I always use, but it's what I have available, so it's going to work today. Next, what we're going to do is cut some baby hairs. You want to cut in a zigzag motion like this so that they're not blunt and they lay. So the zigzag motion gives it a more natural look. Another thing to pay attention to is how much baby hair I'm taking out. Just a baby amount. Now I'm going back in with the mousse because this is what I'll be using to lay the edges on this frontal. You don't want to use edge controls or gels on your frontal because that is what will cause them to flake and be very dry. So how you lay your baby hairs is completely up to preference, but I prefer mine to be swooped Even though this unit won't be for me because I have locks now, but I prefer them to be swoop. I just think it's nice and classic. And yeah, that's about it for this tutorial. I hope you all enjoyed it. I hope you learned something. I hope you seal your weaves, and see ya.